Hey guys, welcome to installing Python and Jupyter basics for your Mac OS. Right, so we're going to cover how to do all this for a Mac computer right now. There will also be another video on how to do this specifically on a Windows computer. All right, so let's dive into it. So what are we going to cover in this specific video? We're going to go over, first of all, an introduction to Anaconda, which is basically the software that you're going to be using throughout all this. It's what's going to install Python and everything on your computer. Then we're going to talk about how to install this on macOS and go through kind of the details there. And then we're going to give you a quick summary of Jupyter and how it all works. And basically Jupyter notebooks are what we're going to be using throughout this entire class. All right. Okay, so first of all, what's Anaconda? So Anaconda is basically a package with a lot of different things bundled into it for data science, and really data science is kind of the main use case, although there are other things or other scientific applications that you can use this for. So it includes a bunch of different things inside of it. Make sure when you go to a website, we're going to download the version for Python 3.x. In this case, it's going to be 3.7, but it might be different depending on when you're watching this video. Python's constantly getting upgraded, so it might be a different version. Don't worry about that too much. Just make sure you're getting version 3. And then also, it's a pretty big file that we're going to be downloading. I believe it's like 500 megabytes as of right now. You can get something much smaller. It's called Miniconda. If space is a problem on your computer, then feel free to go to this other link and we'll walk through that in a second. But let's talk about how to install this. Normally, and I think there's some benefit to actually downloading the entire package because you never know some of the things you're going to need. It has a lot of very useful components that you might want to use in the future. So if you have the space, if you can do it, I would just install the whole thing. If you don't have enough hard drive space or something like that on your computer, or you have a slow internet connection, feel free to use this Miniconda. All right, so first of all, we want to go to anaconda.com. All right, so let's open that up. You can see there's a bunch of things on this website. Talks a lot about data science and machine learning, which is basically what we use Anaconda for, right? Yeah, so who is Anaconda for? Data scientists, business leaders, IT professionals. I think business leaders is maybe a little bit of a stretch, but definitely another application as well. Okay, so let's click on, first of all, downloads. Right, so in this case, there's a download button in the top right-hand corner. They keep changing this website, so it might be in a different place when you're looking at this, but essentially you want to go to downloads, wherever that is on your page. And then when you scroll down, you're going to see here the Python 3.7 version. All right, it should automatically detect what computer you're on. In my case, I'm on a Mac right now, so you see Mac OS. You might have to click on it. You can click on Windows here if you want Windows, Mac OS, or Linux, right? But in our case, it picked it right. This is a Mac OS. And then again, let's make sure that we're picking the Python 3 version. So in this case, it's 3.7 specifically. Okay, so you're going to click on that. It's going to download. It's 442 megabytes as of right now. Okay, so let that go ahead. It will download. Feel free to pause the video, come back once it's done downloading. Okay, so now that we have it downloaded, what we want to do is click on the file to open it up. Right, it's a PKG file. I already have this installed on my computer, so I'm not going to go through the full process, but just to give you a sense of what it looks like. It's going to ask you a question here depending on the version of Mac you're on. Just hit continue. Basically, it's going to hit continue the whole way through. So next, continue, agree to the statements. Of course, read them if there's some issues. In this case, it's not letting me do it because we already have it installed. But for you, you're going to pick install for me only, or you're going to install on specific disk, whatever your preference is. I think the default is just fine. And you're going to keep going next. And then once you have everything installed, again, feel free to pause your computer, or pause the video, to install. Once you have everything installed, you want to find this on your computer, which you can do by hitting Command and Spacebar together and typing in Anaconda. So we're going to open up Anaconda Navigator. Okay, you can find that in your Applications folder, or just like I did, and this is the way that I search for pretty much any program on my computer, really, is Command and Spacebar together, and then you could use that search bar. Okay, once you open up Anaconda Navigator, we're given a bunch of different options of things that we can open up. Okay, and the main one that we want to go through right now, and these are all useful in their own way. VS Code is something that's very useful, and maybe we'll go through in future lectures, but really we want to be working with Jupyter notebooks. Okay, feel free to explore the other ones. These are all pretty useful pieces of software if you're going to be doing data science or if you're going to be working with a lot of data. But we're going to be sticking to Jupyter notebooks, so let's launch that. Okay, so we launched Jupyter notebooks, and what you'll see is essentially opens up in your web browser. Okay, and it's also going to open up this little console window, which right here, you see this little terminal window. This is where it's actually running it. Okay, if you want to stop Jupyter, if you close this, it'll actually close down Jupyter as well. Right, so leave it running if you're planning on using Jupyter. And then in the web browser is where it's actually going to be loaded up. And basically, you can go to your web browser. If you type in localhost 888, it will automatically open it up. So watch, even if you type it in here, it will automatically open. Okay. Now let's go back to the presentation really quickly to make sure we covered everything. So we went through the install steps. You download, you install, open up Anaconda Navigator, and then we launch Jupyter Notebooks. Okay. And now let's go through a couple things for Jupyter. Okay. So Jupyter is essentially the main program that we're going to be using. It's Jupyter Notebooks. I'm just going to be calling it Jupyter just for short. It used to be called IPython, right? So don't get confused between the two. If you see them somewhere on the internet, IPython used to be the name. Now it's called Jupyter Notebooks. Okay. So first of all, we want to make sure that you switch folders to something that works for you. So when we are in, and if I could get back to, exit out of full screen here. Okay, so you can actually see this. So notice that we are right now in your main folder, or in my main folder on my computer, and it'll probably be the same on yours. You might want to switch over to a folder that's a little bit better for you. Maybe somewhere in documents, you want to make a little folder to say, okay, so for you, documents might be a good folder, or wherever else makes sense for you. I'm just going to click on public here because that folder works for me. As you can see, it's pretty empty. Now, if we want to create a new file, so let's say we want to create a brand new Jupyter notebook or make a brand new project, right? It's kind of, they call them notebooks in Jupyter. You hit new here, and then make sure you select Python 3. Okay, you might have Python 2 depending on the way that your computer is set up, but make sure you click on the Python 3 version, right? And if you want to use an existing notebook, right? So let's say the ones from our lectures, right? There's going to be a bunch that you can download as well. Then what you want to do is either upload, right? So you hit upload, and you'll pick the file from wherever it is on your computer. In this case, Python Crash Course, so select that, upload, and see hit the upload button, and then now you can open it up, right? So you can open up this notebook, right? And this is everything in here, okay? All right, and then you can also, just like how we did before, you can navigate to that folder. So you can navigate into your downloads folder or wherever it is that you have all these notebooks. But in either case, you have to be in the same folder, or you can upload the file into your folder, okay? So now that we have that going, let's try to make a brand new notebook. Okay, so we make a brand new Python 3 notebook, and let's explore exactly what's happening here. All right, so here we have what's called an input cell. Okay, and within the cell, we can write a bunch of different things. So for example, the very first one that we'll go through is hello world, right? And you'll be able to do this on your own as well. Type it in, there's a cell, hit run, and you're going to get back hello world. Okay, this is the input portion. This is the output that we're getting back, hello world. And then here's another cell. Okay, and then there's a few little commands that will be useful for you. Run is very important. Insert could be important for you. Insert a cell above or below, right? And this way you can make a bunch of them. You could also delete cells if they've gotten to be too much. I believe that's under here, delete. Okay, you could select a few of them at a time and delete, right? Okay, or insert another one. And then what's also very important is sometimes you'll be in a situation where Jupyter Notebook stops working for some reason, right? So usually this will happen, and don't worry if you don't understand what it means right now, but know that if you get into an endless loop or something like that, if you've done something where it's not responding anymore, it seems like it's broken, what you can do is you can go into kernel and then hit restart, okay? It'll ask you here, hit restart, and then the kernel will restart, and that'll fix whatever issues you're having. Okay. You could also hit the stop button if that makes more sense. Always try stop first, because turning the kernel, restarting the kernel is a bit of a pain sometimes because it erases everything that you did in your entire notebook, and you'll have to go from the very top and run everything all over again. All right. So try to do the stop first. If stop doesn't work, right, then just do the restart kernel. Okay. All right, and that's kind of the basics here. Basics of Jupyter. You got it installed. We discussed cells, and we talked about how to run your code using the run command. And that's about it. Okay. If you have any questions about how to get all this stuff set up on your Mac, or if you're doing this with Windows and you have any questions, in either case, feel free to message me. This is brought to you by LumiWealth.com, where we teach you about finance, programming, and just in general how to make money. So if you'd like to get 25% off our entire website, which has a ton of courses, a ton of like cool courses that you can learn about programming and finance, then what you're going to do is you're going to use either the link in the description, or you can use our promo code, which is LUMI25. That's LUMI25, just like Luminate or like Lumi Wealth, the name of our company. When you get there, there's going to be tons of great courses that you can choose from about programming, about finance, and a lot of these courses are even free, so don't feel like you need to spend money. You have the 25% off if you need it, but feel free to get some of the free stuff as well. So check it out, LumiWealth.com. Thanks for listening.